So for this through hike, I dropped my car off at the Baxter Pass trailhead out of Lone Pine, California, and proceeded to hire a shuttle to get me up north to the Bishop Pass entrance. Sometimes that's tricky in these remote environments, but it all worked out. Got to the Bishop Pass trailhead up near the town of Bishop. I think this is the South Lake entrance, and was on my way over Bishop Pass. Camped the first night in Doozy Basin. Then it was on down the hill and into the John Muir Trail proper. Going south now, camped the next night as I was approaching Mather Pass. And the next day up and over Mather Pass. It's a pretty spectacular pass. Continuing south, camped again. I think this is the third night. So it was 57 miles in total. The next day, over Pinchot Pass, then down for what I thought was going to be the fourth night, near Dollar Lake, and had to show a picture of the bloody sock. My feet were getting pretty trashed. I got up at 4:30 in the morning to take on Baxter Pass, and this is where it gets interesting. This is where you go off trail near Dollar Lake, and as it says, trail is not maintained, that's for sure. If you look at old quad sheets, there is a route on there, but the vintage of those maps, could be from decades ago, that portrait. The trail was basically a dead reckoning up that slope to get up to that notch up there. And then the trail showed up a little bit through these trees. And then once you got into the kind of a little ramp here, really just completely disappeared. Then I completely lost the trail. And, a lot of people had made the same mistake. So there was kind of a false trail. Crossed the creek too early, got into some dead ends. So I just had to keep trying. I found a deer trail at one point that got me somewhat on the correct route to the east, and found myself on the wrong side of some tarns, so that navigated me back to where I should have been. But then that route south of the swamp was way too swampy to get through, so I ended up having to go navigate around it to the north, and that got me past it, and finally saw some trail again and Baxter Lake. That was a big relief. It got a little stressful, I knew I wasn't going to die out there, but you start burning a lot of energy when you start going the wrong way, and burning energy and burning time. So finally got back on track and proceeded through the lake, had a nice meal, found the way up this ramp and up over the trail, which was visible again in all this rocky area. And then came my next mistake. So that red, kind of rusty colored hump looks like the lowest point, looks like the most logical place to crest over. A lot of people made the same mistake. You could see a lot of scree climbing. So up I went and onto that ridge and thought that was the pass. I looked over the other side and oh crap, it was just an abyss. And I seriously thought this trail had just vanished and there's no way I was going to get down there, and I was going to have to retreat all the way back to Kearsarge Pass or something like that. So it got freaky, but fortunately I got my head back on. I looked down at the trail and compared it with the quad and realized that the trail was supposed to go further along towards a lake before actually getting up on the pass, which was higher. So that got me back on the trail, which was visible still. I just got impatient and went for that red bluff. And then finally there you can see the real trail going up a higher point, because on the other side it's a little bit more moderate descent, not a whole lot. There's Baxter Pass. Here's a couple of panoramics I put together. It's just stunning up there. Now the descent, where you plunge a few thousand feet straight away, it's just down, down, down. There's some trail, but not much. It was pretty hectic, and I just kept going down and down until I reached a point where you connect with some water, and it was only in the afternoon, but I decided to make a night of it right there because I was exhausted and already had made mistakes, and didn't want to try to get all the way out that night. And I'm glad I didn't, because the next day was a long, long slog. The total descent, I think, is 6,000 feet, and the trail completely disappears, and you're just dead reckoning, trying to stay on the right side of things. And it was pretty darn exhausting. There's a stream crossing at the bottom, which is kind of gnarly with a big slippery log to go over, but it was perfectly passable. But depending on, what's happening with the weather and the snow, this could just be a monster that you can't cross when you get to the bottom. So I hate to think about that. And on down and down and down and down, and finally saw my car. Oh, what a relief. That was my adventure. Sorry I don't have a video to share. I just got these photos, but wanted to share it. Bye-bye.